Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Connected by Community, brought to you by Ballantine Capital Advisor. I'm one of your hosts, Anthony Colincheco. With me is Ann Thompson. And we have a special guest, Jake Beaty. I said that correctly.
You did.
All right. From Rebuild Upstate.
Yes.
So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And if you don't mind, just tell us a little bit about yourself. We were talking, you're actually a native, so.
I am an upstate guy, yes. So I was born and raised in Seneca, South Carolina, in the shadow of Death Valley, as I like to tell people, just a couple of miles from the stadium. I had no choice in my affiliation. I came to Anderson College, because that's what it was called back then, in the late 1900s. Got a degree in biology, met my wife there. I was actually a part of a Bible study that kicked off a church, which really grew. I was one of the first staff members of that church, worked there for 20 years and spent my last decade plus traveling the world doing missions work and community development on just about every continent. So.
Wow.
So who was the church?
New Spring Church.
New Spring. So you helped start New Spring Church.
I was one of I think I was like the fourth staff member maybe. I started out as their student pastor. Then as the church grew and started launching campuses across the state, my role shifted into what we called staff health, which was basically traveling, pastoring the staff. So spent a lot of years doing that, but then also the mission side of my role, which I really loved.
Yeah, I kind of read somewhere that you spent you traveled to 11 different countries.
A lot of countries.
Doing mission work.
Yeah, something like that. I probably lost count at some point. But yeah, a lot of work in Central America, a good bit in Africa, especially Kenya and Uganda, which is really where I spent the majority of my time and fell in love with those two countries in particular. And just being able to serve the people there was a joy for me.
That's fantastic.
Rebuild Upstate.
Yeah.
Rebuild Upstate is what we're here to talk about.
What is it?
So Rebuild Upstate, we are a nonprofit, and the vision's pretty easy to sell because we do one thing. I know there's a lot of nonprofits, and they are great at doing lots of things. Maybe I'm just too simple for anything else, but Rebuild Upstate does one thing. We exist to repair the homes of low-income homeowners, and through that, preserve affordable housing in the Upstate.
Wow.
That's a pretty good mission. Can you tell us like some of the projects and stuff that you work on, like probably roofing?
Yeah, so we tell people we do anything from the foundation to the roof. So some of the things we especially focus on is helping people age in place.
Yeah.
So we have an ever-aging, we are all ever-aging, but a lot of folks are saying that a silver tsunami is coming with the baby boomer generation and after. So the need is actually not going to go away. It's going to increase for affordable housing all around us. And so the projects that we do especially are to help people be safe and feel dignity in their home. So that can include handicap ramps, widening doorways for wheelchair accessibility. We do a lot of tub to shower conversions so that we are reducing falls, adding grab bars for folks. But that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg. That's probably the majority of what we do in serving our older population. But for anyone who is low income in our community, if you're under 80% of the area median income, so for Greenville, imagine an entire household living off less than $30,000 a year.
Wow.
This is the segment of the population that we are here to serve and that we want to care well for. And so anything from the foundation to the roof, replacing windows, working on HVAC, if it touches your home and it helps you live safely in your home, we want to make sure that it operates well for our homeowners.
And are you mostly all volunteers?
We actually utilize around 800 plus volunteers a year. So that's one of the things that helps us keep our costs very low.
Wow. That's amazing.
How
do you go about volunteering? Or do you have to be some type of mechanic or construction or?
If you have skills in construction, we would love to have you. And obviously, folks that can come and they already have some know-how are extremely valuable to our organization, and we have many of those that come and serve on a regular basis. But as I like to tell people, I do not come from a construction background, and I have been on many projects, and I think I was useful on at least some of them. But we tell people all the time, we will take anyone. If you know which direction to point a hammer, we will engage with you, and we will provide oversight to make sure that you are doing something to help serve a neighbor in need. So Unskilled volunteers, yes, we'll take them. Skilled volunteers, that's like an added cherry on top for us.
Now, is there an age limit do you need like younger ones to be 16, 18 or something in order to participate?
We will take that on a case-by-case basis. Definitely we want them to be 12 and above, but if you are in your teenage years, we would love for an adult to be with you because we kind of see that as one volunteer, not two, because we want young people to have a really great opportunity. Don't think you're too young to be able to serve a neighbor and try to help them in their time of need, but we also, one of our core values is safety, so we want to make sure that when folks are coming, we always have a staff member or a site leader on a build site to make sure that everyone is following the rules. But when we have younger folks with us, we want to have a guardian there to make sure that they are extra watched over.
Yeah, I get that. I understand that. It's a little different than baking cookies.
For sure. It can be, yes.
So good. So upstate, you're serving like that Georgia border all the way up to the North Carolina border? Is that what you view?
Not yet. So the 4 counties that Rebuild Upstate serves in currently are Greenville, Anderson, Oconee, and Pickens. About 70% of our work is in Greenville County, and that's just where the organization grew as it originated and where the majority of our funding comes from. But we're especially doing a lot of work in Anderson right now. I'm an Anderson guy as well, but Oconee and Pickens as well.
Okay. I haven't heard the term silver tsunami before. So, but I mean, we see that in the financial industry. I mean, we see baby boomers, a huge generation. So they're youngest of the baby boomers are hitting that retirement age here soon. So I can definitely see an age. How do you you see a big push with replacing neighborhoods with new build? And there seems to be a struggle between, obviously, the people that live in those communities now and the government or the local township or the city that wants to put something prettier in.
Right.
How do you work with those organizations or with those county governments to help the people stay in place?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we are partnered with Greenville City, with Greenville County. We are partnered with ACOG, which is the Area Council on Aging, so we actually have their contracts for home repairs. But yes, we are working with municipalities around us to make sure that we are coming up with a cohesive solution. We by no means think that Rebuild Upstate is the one size fits all stop for affordable housing. And so one of our core values is community perspective. And so clearly, especially around the Greenville area, there has been some charged conversation recently around affordable housing. And a lot of opinions are out there on what the best solution is. And so we need great organizations that are providing affordable rental units. We need great organizations that are providing new units. I would dare to say, though, that home preservation, which is what Rebuild Upstate focuses on, is just as important of a need. So what we can't do is have an either-or conversation about what the best solution for affordable housing is. We have to find a solution that encompasses all of these things so that we are serving our community as well as we can.
Right. Well, good.
Who else are you partnering with to kind of help with building those homes? Are there organizations that Rebuild partners with?
We partner with a lot of organizations, especially in Anderson County. We are with Anderson Interfaith Ministries. Emmanuel's Hammer does similar work with us, but, we are associated with the Greenville Housing Fund. So with that, a lot of the nonprofits, we are all working together to try to make Greenville and the Upstate a better place.
Awesome. What impact do you see that Rebuild's making in the community?
Well, to give you perspective on Rebuild is a 16-year-old organization. It actually began in 2006 as a response to Hurricane Katrina. So our founder, Chris, who also owns Ingenious, which is a network marketing company here in Greenville, he started it as a college student, just going down and trying to help people, and then got a call from someone in the Clemson area saying, hey, we need someone to repair a roof. You guys keep going to New Orleans because that's something that we could do here. And it was really an eye-opener of, I think for a lot of us, you do your daily commute.
Right.
you might not at all drive past a house that is dilapidated. And so it can be a very out of sight, out of mind issue based on where you live, because a lot of the poverty is concentrated into specific neighborhoods around the upstate. Once you see it, it is one of those things that you can't unsee. So for Rebuild Upstate, obviously the organization started small. It has grown steadily since 2006, 2007. What I will tell you is at this point, we have repaired in the 17-year history of the organization over 1,400 homes. So we are averaging repairing 100 to 150 homes a year in the upstate. Again, about 70% of those exist in Greenville that we are working on. And so we feel like we are making an impact. We want to make a bigger impact the longer that we go. And so we love the work that we do. We believe in it.
Is there one particular story that might stick out to you for the impact?
Yeah. A story I will tell you is one of the first homes that I got to serve with. I've been the CEO for Rebuild for a year now. And so this time last year, there was a house that in my former life, I would commute past on a regular basis. And as I would drive past it, I would often think to myself, wow, that is really sad. That's a beautiful old home. Someone should buy that and fix it up. It's a shame that no one lives in it.
Yeah.
And then I got the address one day to go to a build site to work with a team, and I show up and I pull into the driveway of this house and literally said to myself, I cannot believe that a family lives in this home. And went in, and the only water damage I've ever seen worse than that was in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. And I've traveled the world to a lot of places, but this was 10 miles from where we're sitting right now, and it broke my heart. But I tell you, we had some amazing volunteers that showed up that week. And 3 days later, with a team of volunteers, that home was safe for this person. He had a new bathroom. The asbestos siding had been covered with different siding to protect his health. The mold was remediated. It was an amazing thing to go in and see what volunteers who have a heart for this and what our donors and what our staff can do when everyone is working together to serve one neighbor.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's a great story. Now, how do people kind of like get on your radar? How do people reach out to you and say, hey, I'm wheelchair bound, I need a ramp, or my roof is leaking? How do they get your attention? And is it kind of like a referral from somebody, or is it they come directly to you?
So a lot of our referrals are word of mouth. I will tell you our numbers right now is that we know of over 1,200 people in the upstate that if we had volunteers and finances, we could go make a difference and repair their home.
Wow.
So the need is not going away, and the statistics that we have seen is to just keep up with the need currently, we would need to be repairing 500 homes per year. So our issue is not people signing up and coming for help. What I will say is that if anyone is listening to this and you are under 80% of the area median income for the county that you live in, we will take an application from you. You can go to our website, rebuildupstate.org. It's very simple to look it up and to apply for assistance. But most of our referrals, to answer your specific question, come through word of mouth. So they are coming as folks are in the hospital and there are caseworkers that are working with them, as Meals on Wheels are delivering to their home. So a lot of the nonprofits are very well connected. We know what each other, what services we provide, what we do well. And so, Upstate Warrior Solutions, we specifically focus on helping veterans in need. So they will contact us and let us know. So it comes through a lot of word of mouth, but also when we show up on a build site, our volunteers don't bring a tool unless they just have their favorite hammer that they want to use. We show up with our trucks and trailers, and so they are fully stocked. We have all the materials with us that are needed. So volunteers literally can just show up, put on some gloves and get to work with our team. But when we are in specific neighborhoods that are struggling with poverty and we are helping people, obviously one neighbor will talk to another and say, hey, those guys were fixing your windows. How did you get them to do that? It's like, well, I applied, and here is the process. You can do that too. So a lot of word of mouth comes from, we help one homeowner, they know other people in need, and so they spread the word that, hey, here's an organization, they really do want to help you.
How about volunteers? How do they sign up to help, and what project they might want to help with?
Yeah, so from volunteers, we have a lot of church groups that contact us, but also a lot of business groups. One thing I would say to any business folks that are listening to this, we will give you a really great volunteer experience and a really great team building opportunity. So we have a lot of businesses in the upstate. They are looking for getting their team out of their normal routine, which I absolutely love, because I think it's something, if you're working in a cubicle with someone every day, you get into a routine. But you're talking about work. How much do you really know that person? Yeah. So to get out of that normal routine and go get your hands dirty and benefit the community in that way, I think is great for morale. I think that it builds camaraderie with whatever business you're doing. So people can reach out on our website. They can call us. All of our contact information is there. But yes, most of our volunteers, they are coming to us through churches or civic organizations, businesses that are looking to do some team builds. And so we schedule those days. Usually it takes us a couple of months to get something on the books, because there's a lot of logistics that goes along with that. So if you're looking to volunteer next week, we'll find something for you to do, but we might not be able to give you a team build. But if you're looking for something, a couple of months out, we can definitely schedule that, have groups come in, and I promise you we'll give you, weather permitting, a really great experience on the day that you've signed up.
Yeah, I got to believe that, bringing your team to something to help the community would just, one, bring the team together.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. I think it makes a big difference, and I think for a lot of folks don't know how to help. They want to help. They don't know how. But just having that first experience where you get to go out and get your hands dirty, and at the end of the day, after you have sweated and your back's a little sore, you can say to yourself, wow, I helped a neighbor. So no matter your religious background, any affiliation you have, there's something as human beings to go and put some sweat equity in and serve someone else and see their appreciation for, wow, I helped make their life a little bit easier today. I think everyone feels that healthy pride, and it's something we should all experience on a regular basis.
How long do your typical projects last? So you go in there and you need to fix the house. Is it, hey, we need to get this done in a week? Is it a month? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, most of our builds, it really depends on the house. So on average, we are doing 3 to 6 major projects per home that we are serving. But it really just kind of depends on what the homeowner needs. So part of our process, when we have an application for assistance, we go out and do an initial inspection, because like most people going to the doctor, you go to the doctor and you feel certain symptoms in your body. That does not mean that you have diagnosed yourself correctly. Sometimes you made it way worse. Yeah. Sometimes you didn't take it seriously enough, which is
don't Google.
Yeah, don't go to WebMD for that. And same thing with a homeowner. We are stepping into homes, and most of the time, folks have come up with creative solutions to solve some of their problems, which I completely understand. Me and YouTube fix lots of things at my house. But we go in and we do that complete inspection to figure out, okay, what are the things that this home actually needs so that this family can be safe for the next decade is our goal. And then we will come up with that list of projects. We will prioritize them, and then we will go out and try to seek funding to match with that, and then a volunteer team with the appropriate skills, or a contractor if we need to hire a contractor to match with that. And then it really depends on how all of those pieces flow together. It is a crazy moving puzzle always on how we help a family. So sometimes we're going in and we're starting out, we're building a handicap ramp for someone. We haven't done the inside home inspection, but we at least have given them something that can serve them, serve their needs. Right. And then we will go and figure out what we can do. And then it's hiring contractors, it's getting the materials, it's how many volunteer groups do we need to do each project, what skill level do we need to serve each project and to do this well. And then we will match that up. But I mean, from start to finish, most homes, Yeah, we're on site for a week. We're trying to match up volunteer teams back to back to get in. We also have a group of guys that we call our handyman crew. So they come in after some of the unskilled groups have been there. Maybe the unskilled group was doing demo or they were doing stuff outside the house. You can't fit 12 people in a bathroom. So we have some skilled volunteers that'll come in on a Monday or Tuesday, and, they'll jump in and make sure that bathroom is replumbed and taken care of for the person. But, for an average day with us, if you are volunteering, we're asking folks, will you give us a day commitment? Will you give us 8 hours? 8 to 5 would be amazing. We'll even give you a lunch break. So, but most volunteer experiences per day are 8 hours. On average, it takes us about a week usually to repair a home.
Yeah. Where do you get the funding? I mean, you said fundraising. What are you doing for fundraising to bring in the money to pay for the equipment and the tools and everything else?
I will do whatever I need to do to make that happen. It's obviously a big need. We do get some contract grants that help us with materials. Most of those do not pay our program cost, right. But there are government grants. There are opportunities out there for us to go get materials to repair homes. The other side of that is raising philanthropic dollars. And so we go out, we're talking to a lot of churches, we are talking to a lot of businesses. We actually have our very first fundraiser we're calling a Toast to Home this December. So we'd love for people to go to our website and considering being a part of that, donating to that. But yes, through businesses, churches, foundations, we are trying to spread the word, have as many conversations as we can, because we do believe our work's important. We want it to continue.
Yeah.
What is your website for folks that are listening?
It is rebuildupstate.org.
Okay, perfect. So we have a signature question that we always ask our guests. What makes you tick?
That's a great question. What gets me out of bed every single morning is the need, because I've seen it. And what beats in my heart is in 2023, it is absolutely unacceptable in the United States of America that people are living in substandard housing. And I'm crazy enough to believe that we can actually do something about it. And so one of our mantras is we're going to serve one day at a time, one home at a time, one family at a time to the best of our ability. Again, there are thousands of people in the upstate that are in need for the services that we provide. And there are days, trust me, I look at the wait list as it grows, and it's like, are we making a difference? And the answer to that is yes, but the answer to that is I want to do more. I want to help more people. And what you have to do, though, is have the starfish mentality. And what I mean by that, maybe this is an old cheesy preacher story, but there's this old story about an old man, and he's walking along the beach and he sees a little kid chucking starfish back into the ocean. And the grumpy old man walks up. I don't know why it's always the grumpy old man, but he walks up to the kid and says, do you actually think you can make a difference? And the kid picks up another starfish, looks at it, looks at the old man, throws it in the ocean and says, I made a difference to that one. And so for me, it is driving that. Man, there are great people that live all around us. The upstate is a special place. Again, I've lived here my whole life, but I've traveled the world. It's beautiful here. The people here are beautiful. They are amazing, and human beings deserve to be loved on. They deserve to be cared for. And with a lot of the problems we face in our world, a lot of the easy thing as a person is to say, not my problem. Got my own problems to worry about. But there is something that changes your heart when you get out of your own headspace and you get out of your own little circle ecosystem that you operate in. And there are people who have needs all around me, and I can't solve all of those needs. But if I can solve one need and I have the opportunity to go serve, why wouldn't I do that? So what drives me every day is a love for people. It is seeing the need that is around that can't be out of sight, out of mind once you open your eyes to it and you look at it. And there's another homeowner out there today that is in need. And what if we have the opportunity to help be an answer to the prayers that they are praying every day for help?
Definitely. You do good work. I mean, your philanthropic heart is awesome, and it sounds like you've been giving back to the world and your community since college. So kudos to that. I wish more people were like you.
That's part of the reason we have this
Yeah,
podcast,
right.
is to find people like you to be able to tell your story
Yeah.
and hopefully be able to push it out to more folks to one, get more funding, get more help, get more
Yes.
volunteers,
Right.
and just show people, how great the community is.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
So thank you so much for being here. We see the passion. We really appreciate everything you're doing in the community.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you all for watching another episode of Connected by Community, brought to you by Ballantyne Capital Advisors. Until we see you again, go make our community great.